Views expressed on this program are those of the hosts, guests, and callers, and are not necessarily those of this station, its management, or other advertisers. You're listening to Transformation Talk Radio.
The following audio is via a Skype call.
What if your biggest dreams were already assured as they've been written in the stars? Want a boost to raise your vibration to 5D and higher? Soul Wisdom Radio with Wendy Rose Williams helps you access the wisdom of your higher self and guides to balance your ego, progress spiritually, and discover your life purpose and larger soul mission. Wendy is a Seattle area past life regressionist, certified spiritual teacher, Reiki Master Energy Healer, and award-winning author. Plan your magic carpet ride now with Soul Wisdom Radio with Wendy Rose Williams.
Good morning. I'm Wendy Rose Williams, and you're listening to Soul Wisdom Radio, Living Your Joyful Life on TransformationTalkRadio.com. Our theme today is Adversity to Advantage through the Regression Healing hypnotherapy technique. We're recording live at KKNW 1150 AM in Seattle with Benny Mathers making the production magic happen. Good morning, Benny.
Good morning, Wendy.
I'm excited to announce Dr. Pat Baccili will join me for the next hour as my co-host. Dr. Pat and I will be discussing some of the most powerful results people are achieving with the Regression Healing hypnotherapy technique. We're also welcoming Christinus as our guest to share highlights from the popular Women of Wisdom conference. Wow, Women of Wisdom is scheduled for the weekend of February 17th and 18th at the North Seattle Community College. I'm honored to be presenting the 3-hour Who Do You Think You Are? Past Life Regression Workshop at WOW this month. My goal is to help clients heal and release energy that no longer serves them, as well as help remove blocks, keeping individuals from their optimal health, wealth, and harmonious relationships. Energy that doesn't serve us can present as anxiety, panic attacks, depression, PTSD, chronic physical and or emotional pain, and disease. Who needs it? Isn't it time to raise our vibration and frequency and move into the heaven on earth energy of peace, love, and joy? I'm a certified spiritual teacher, Reiki Master Energy Healer, and past life regressionist, serving clients via in-person workshops in the Seattle area, group workshops for clients from various countries via Skype, one-on-one sessions both in person on Seattle's east side or via Skype, and through my books and public speaking. The best way to reach me to learn more and to schedule your complimentary 15-minute phone consult is via my website at wendyrosewilliams.com. Wendy spelled with a Y. Dr. Pat and I are going to demonstrate for listeners how easy and powerful it can be to travel to a healing temple via guided meditation. So get ready to participate with us in about 10 to 15 minutes, as long as you're not driving. No driving and meditating, right, Benny?
I hate when that happens, but good call.
One lucky caller today will receive an autographed copy of my first book, Regression Healing 1, The Huntsman, The Lord High Mayor, and the World War II Soldier, sold on Amazon. One caller will receive a complimentary 60-minute one-on-one soul wisdom healing session with me via Skype. So stay tuned for the opportunity to call in. Let's segue now to welcome Chris. Chris is the founder of the Women of Wisdom Foundation, the owner of Chrysalis Leadership, and the author of Women of Wisdom, Empowering the Dreams and Spirit of Women, an inspiring new book that includes talks by popular Women of Wisdom speakers, including Jean Houston, Dr. Judith Orloff, and others. Chris's book is available at chrysalisleadership.com. Chrysalis is spelled Krysalis. Welcome, Chris.
Oh, thank you. It's great to be on your show.
Well, wonderful. Chris, what are women looking for, and how have you fulfilled it so well that the WOW conference, Women of Wisdom, continues going strong at the 25-plus year mark? That's a tremendous accomplishment.
Yes, I think it's because women want to gather. They want to be together in community, and it's a place where women can support each other and feel supported, feel being heard. It's a lot of witnessing that happens, sharing stories. That's very healing. So it's woman wisdom has a life of her own, and she keeps going on and on. So yeah, we're in our 26th year. And made a big change this year, too, in how we're going to do the conference, really allowing time for women to connect more. So I'd love to share more about
That's fantastic.
What's changing.
Yeah, jump right into that, Chris. You're going exactly where I wanted to go. What's new at the conference? So the new format is 16 speakers in one action-packed weekend, February 17th and 18th at the North Seattle Community College. Is that correct?
Yes. And what is new is we used to be a few years ago, for many years, 10, 15 years, we would be a week long, even 9 days, really immersed ourselves into the divine feminine. And it's always been a conference where people could come and go as they please. They could register for one workshop, one evening, several workshops. They could register all weekend. And this year, for the first time, we're kind of stepping back a bit and just doing a 2-day workshop conference, and everything is all combined. So you can come for the whole weekend, or you can come for all day Saturday or all day Sunday, and your meals are included. And so we're creating a lot more community, being together, longer meals with programs during the meals, kind of like other conferences, but ours are still very intimate in that we have 3-hour-long workshops, which is unusual for most conferences. You know, you're used to sitting in a room with several hundred people and you have an hour being talked to, and ours are intimate and life-changing in an intimate setting of sitting in a circle with women, and 3 hours long, so you can really get into some deep topics and explore different things, and then have that connecting time with everybody at our longer meal break times.
Fantastic. And what are some of the subjects or the topics that are going to be covered?
Oh, there's such a variety. I mean, you did mention you're going to be there doing the regression workshop. We've got people who do Qigong. We have someone listening to Yoni, tap into your sexual muse. Another host on the Transformation Radio, Vicki Todd, is doing a workshop about with color, collage, and creativity. We've got even some topics that are a little more political, bridging the political abyss, honoring the good in another's window to the world. And Rose Harrow is doing sacred money archetypes. We've got workshops with yoga and writing. Another one that's kind of out of the box is Diary of a Positive Deviant, How to Influence Culture from the Inside Out, by Jennifer Evans. She's coming from out of state. We have a few people from out of state. We have somebody doing the Oracle, tapping into your inner wisdom using the oracles. Veronica Fernmoss is the Embodied Goddess. There's so much and a variety that you can select to choose, to have a fabulous weekend. And this year too was different. Is we've usually bring in a national speaker. And we're really making use of our local talent. There's so much here in Seattle, and our own Reverend Judith Laxer is going to be speaking at our banquet Saturday night, letting ourselves off the hook. And also Dr. Franca Baroni is going to be doing a performance, one-person act performance in the public heart, A Lawyer's Journey. And she's been doing that around Seattle, and it's fabulous. So really making use of the wisdom we have here in Seattle.
Fantastic. And yes. I know Sunny Joy McMillan, who's another KKNW host, will also be joining the conference as one of the speakers, and she will be sharing her life coaching wisdom. So fantastic. Well, how can listeners sign up for WOW? How can they learn more and grab some of those few of the seats that are left for either Saturday only, Sunday only, or for the weekend?
Yes, they just go to www.womenofwisdom.org and look for the 2018 conference. There'll be, bars come down and shows you the conference information and registration. And then when you go to that page, it lists all the events and a link to register, and you have your choices. As we said, a full day Saturday, which includes lunch and dinner, or Sunday, which includes lunch, and the full weekend. And this is an unbelievable bargain. I mean, you could come for the whole weekend for $235. We are doing something different this year and having everyone be a member. We're simplifying things and giving the discount to everyone. By everyone becoming a member gives everybody a discount. And instead of having, we always used to have member, non-member prices, which were, as usual, they would just be higher if they were non-member prices. So we've simplified our system to make it be a conference of ease and creating and planning, and enjoyable for everybody. And I know we're just going to have a fabulous time.
Yes, absolutely. Well, thank you so much for inviting me to participate as a speaker and for joining us today, Chris, to provide that excellent overview of all that's offered at the Women of Wisdom Conference. That website again, go to womenofwisdom.org to register. And Chris's website is chrysalisleadership.com, and that's where you can learn more about her leadership services and purchase a copy of her book, Women of Wisdom, Empowering the Dreams and Spirit of Women. Thank you, Chris.
Well, thank you. I'll look forward to seeing you at the conference.
Perfect. Well, we're going to skip the first break to allow me to introduce the amazing force of nature known as Dr. Pat. Dr. Pat Baccili hosts the international acclaimed Dr. Pat Show, Talk Radio to Thrive By, which has been voted #1 in positive talk in Seattle for 9 years running. I'm honored to have her here as my co-host today. The Dr. Pat Show reaches millions of people annually and is broadcast on over 300 AM, FM, and digital networks across the globe. Its reach is now 142 countries with a powerful, life-changing message of human potential. Dr. Pat, known as the Oprah of talk radio, has found a winning combination by skillfully merging metaphysics with mainstream communication. She created Transformation Talk Radio in 2009. And now, less than a decade later, millions of people are connected to the hundreds of thought leaders who are attracting an audience seeking an inspiring, cutting-edge, all-positive talk. I'm honored to have Soul Wisdom Radio be a part of the Transformation Talk Radio family. Welcome, Dr. Pat. Thank you for joining me today to provide an opportunity for our listeners to build their own healing temple via a guided meditation with me, with their higher self and guides.
Hey, Wendy, it's great to be here to talk about what the healing process is for so many people, and to talk about, how regression healing and past life regression through the millions and millions of bits and bytes of information that we absorb on a regular basis. So thank you.
Absolutely. Dr. Pat and I are going to share with all of you the great news of how individuals are removing creative blocks, receiving physical and emotional healing, and improving their finances, and even attracting their beloved. That's how versatile the regression healing hypnotherapy technique is. Pat, are you ready to relax, something you don't get to do very often, and enjoy building your own healing temple?
Absolutely.
Wonderful. Listeners, you're invited to do the same if you're in a quiet place and can stop what you're doing and relax for the next 5 minutes or so. If you're driving or you're listening while multitasking, just pull up the archive from transformationtalkradio.com tomorrow by searching for Soul Wisdom Radio at transformationtalkradio.com, and you can do this meditation at another time. So, Pat, listeners, I invite you to get very comfortable. It's ideal to lie down or recline if possible, But you can also meditate sitting in a relaxed position with your eyes closed. Or you can stretch your back out and lie your head comfortably on your arms if you're at a table or desk. We're not in school, so you are allowed to be in that position. We're going to begin by taking a few cleansing breaths, inviting your higher self fully into your body and calling in your guides to support you in building your healing temple. Visualize a beautiful white light bubble all around you, supporting you and gently raising your vibration and frequency. I'd like you to take a deep breath in through your nose and hold it for a moment, feeling not only your lungs expand all the way down into the belly, but your entire consciousness raise up. Now let your breath out through your mouth as noisily as you like, releasing anything that doesn't serve you. Breathe in through your nose again, bringing in that powerful white light of the universe. Hold your breath for a moment and feel your vibration rise. Now breathe out through your mouth, letting go of any discomfort, fear, any doubts. This is exactly where you should be. Breathe in through your nose one more time, feeling peace and love and joy entering your life in a meaningful way. Hold your breath for a moment and stabilize that energy all throughout your field. Breathe out through your mouth one more time as you balance your ego and move into your receptive right brain as you welcome your higher self fully into your body and feel your guides all around you with their immense love, wisdom, and support. I'd like you to now visualize the most beautiful healing temple you can imagine. It might be a building or a place in nature like a waterfall or the woods or the beach. Perhaps it's your grandmom's or your best friend's kitchen or your lover's arms or a snapshot in time. I'm going to be quiet for a moment now and hold the energy while you create your own perfect healing temple with your guides. You're now entering your healing temple. You know this place, and it welcomes you home. Get very comfortable here as your guides gather around you with endless love and support. You're now going to experience the healing lights of the universe. A series of 3 colored lights will come to you one at a time. They'll go to a specific place on your body, and you will feel or sense their healing work easily. You'll be able to see the healing light color or colors with great clarity, and do this work again on your own whenever needed. A light will now appear and go to a specific place on your body. You can see the color and feel it healing your body, your heart, and your soul. Take a moment and enjoy how that colored light feels as it heals your body and your emotions. The light will stay with you as long as needed. The healing will be very comfortable despite its power. A new light will now appear and will go to a specific place on your body. Observe the color tune in to how it looks or feels as it permanently heals your physical, emotional, and mental bodies along with your spirit. The light will remain with you as long as needed to permanently, powerfully heal your body and your soul. A final light will now appear and go to a specific part of your body. Enjoy observing the color, which may be quite vibrant, and how it looks and feels as it heals your body at the DNA cellular level, restoring you to optimal health and peak conditioning. Take a moment to allow the healing lights to complete their amazing work, and thank your guides for helping you build the perfect healing temple. Know that you can return here at any time. You can do so just as you fall asleep with a request to be in your healing temple all night long. Get ready for not only an amazing, restful night's sleep, but to de-age to youth as you heal your DNA. I'm going to count to 5 now, and you'll easily be fully back in your body, feeling wide awake, rested, refreshed, and wonderful all over. 1, 2. You're coming up very nicely now, orienting easily back to Tuesday, February 6, 2018. 3, 4. You're waking up easily and now, very aware of your physical body once again. Perhaps you'll choose to stretch gently. 5. You're opening your eyes now, if you haven't done so already, feeling refreshed and wonderful all over. So, Dr. Pat, how are you doing?
Well, I think as you described it, this is in the busyness of what we do in the life that we experience. There has to be ways for us that are tried, that are true, that others have come before us to use, that open up a door for us to switch off whatever that thing is that's going on 24/7 so that we can get back to our true nature. And I think that's the power in what you've experienced in literally just minutes. I can only imagine what it's like to spend more time with you and really getting, into some of the things in our lives that we really would like to understand and explore better.
Well, thank you. Were you able to visualize a healing temple for yourself?
Well, that's actually pretty easy for me to do.
Excellent.
That is the kind of thing that I think for many of us, we get to decide what that looks like and how it looks. And that's what's so beautiful about it.
Yes.
Is that nobody is telling us what that's going to mean for us personally.
No.
We get to invite whatever that is in.
Exactly. It's more powerful when it's coming from you because it's already within you. But as you said, it's just slowing down the busyness, what can be a too frantic pace, to be able to tune into that wisdom of our soul. Very good. Did any of the lights go to your heart, Dr. Pat, or did they go to other parts of your body?
I think for me, what happens is, for the time that I am in, today, for example, this is a very mental day for me.
Okay.
And so, my experience of this was to create more like straight lines, clarity, than anything else. And, my heart is always at the core of most of what I do in life. But sometimes, my heart takes a back seat to the mind that must take the images, take the passion, and create it into reality. But sometimes if we're not clear and the vision is muddled so often, we're not able to really direct the energy, our life force, in the place where we want to go. And I think that's the power of what we're talking about here today.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And the reason I chose this meditation is it's a client favorite and one that every single person has been able to do. And I include this simple meditation in all workshops as well as one-on-one sessions because it's not only powerful, but it's fun and easy. And you can continue building your healing temple on your own and just embellish it and make it more effective. Well, our theme for today is adversity to advantage. And we're going to take a break in a moment. First, I'd like to share my contact information. You can find me via my website at wendyrosewilliams.com or via Facebook under my full name of Wendy Rose Williams. So we're going to go to break, and when we come back, I'm going to pass the lead to Dr. Pat, and she's going to bring out some of the examples of what's being experienced with regression healing, past life regression.
Do you ever get a situation or a person stuck in your mind? Like a movie on replay of how you wish something went, or continued thoughts of how some person makes you crazy? My name is Audrey Michelle, host of Rewired Life Radio and a spiritual growth coach. I want you to be fully present and aligned with your true self, don't you? You see, every situation and person we come in contact with throughout our day creates an energy cord between us. And unless we cut these cords, we end up leaking energy in every direction. I don't know about you, but I want to be in charge of where my energy is spent. I want to share with you my cord-cutting meditation to help you let go of interactions replaying in your mind and any subconscious ties to people draining your energy. Simply go to audreymichelle.com/tips and download it for free today. That's Audrey Michelle, spelled MICHEL.com/tips.
Choose the new earth on the Cornelia Stephanie Show. Tune in each week on Transformation Talk Radio as Cornelia takes listeners on an odyssey of higher consciousness to inspire, educate, and empower. Cornelia guides people on the path of self-healing, peace, and liberation. The Cornelia Stephanie Show is your catalyst for anchoring heaven on earth on a global scale. For more information, go to corneliastephanie.com.
Tune in to the Psychic Professors Show, The Voices of Spirit Radio, with international medium and spirit artist Dr. Susan Barnes on Transformation Talk Radio, featuring a variety of spiritual topics such as psychic art, spiritualism, EVP, psychic development, and mediumship. This hit call-in show provides listeners with breakthrough wisdom to enliven and enlighten their lives. Visit spiritartgallery.net.
Tune in each Friday, 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern on Transformation Talk Radio.
Who's ready to rock 2018? Want expert assistance to ground and clear your energy and raise your vibration? Hi, I'm Wendy Rose Williams, certified spiritual teacher. Call 425-502-0362 to schedule your free 15-minute consult to learn how a 1-hour soul wisdom healing session, full-day regression healing, or 90-day energetic boot camp can help you with the next big thing. Visit wendyrosewilliams.com to plan your magic carpet ride with me.
Your happiness is your choice on Natural Peace Radio. Follow Sarah Van Ryswick as she addresses the power of emotions. Each month, Sarah covers different topics as she helps listeners activate their energetic spark and create powerful energy and amazing opportunities. Manifest your desires with Natural Peace Radio. For more information on Sarah and her work, visit naturalpeaceliving.com.
And my thoughts seem to scatter, but I think it's alright. Forgiveness, even if you don't love me anymore.
Well, welcome back to Soul Wisdom Radio, Living Your Joyful Life. This is Wendy Rose Williams with Dr. Pat as my fantastic co-host today. And our theme, our discussion is Adversity to Advantage via Regression Healing and Past Life Regression. Dr. Pat, I'm going to pass the lead to you to talk about how regression healing can be used to resolve creative blocks and so much more.
Well, part of what I've learned somewhere along the way is that just because we have some kind of thing that gets in the way of us getting where we are today to where we ultimately really want to go, where our heart really wants to go, there are a number of things we can call it. We can call it blocks, we can call it challenges, we can call it obstacles, but whatever it is we call it, it's the thing that's getting in the way. So the question really is, for people that are wondering, I'm not sure about regression or regression healing. I'd love to know more about how regression healing or past life regression helps me get beyond my stubborn blocks and gets me to whatever that is, whether it's better health, whether it's a relationship in my life, whether it's purpose, whether it's a job. What are some of the experiences, Wendy, you've had in working with people to help them get past their blocks?
That's a fantastic question. And the way that it's accomplished is regression healing is a quantum healing, which allows us to get past that ego, which can be unbalanced at times. It helps us get past those blocks, those self-limiting beliefs, as you delineated so well and gave examples. It helps us tune into the wisdom of our soul. That's what the difference is, because when we're able to deeply relax and to call forth our own wisdom and to speak as our higher self and to speak as our guides and to speak as the light, just everything is possible. And that's how we live the life of our dreams that was intended. So I'll get more specific. I had a tremendous interest in writing and in public speaking, but I was also completely blocked. It brought on not just nerves, it brought on terror. I find it interesting that the number one fear for many Americans remains the fear of public speaking. And writing and publishing, of course, is an example of that. You'd think it would be more something like, well, perhaps death. But no, it's public speaking, because there you have to live with the consequences of it. So it's pretty amazing. So what happened for me is I started doing sessions, and I was just blessed and graced to find the right hypnotherapist that I needed to work with. And what came up very quickly was past lives that I needed to heal and release. But I could, my higher self and guides quickly pointed out the theme, which was I was just making this too hard. From past persecution that we've all had and just needing to move out of that fear, letting go of what will other people think and being true to yourself and being able to dance to the beat of your own drummer. What came up again and again, whether it was past life as an Oregon wagon train leader who wrote a newspaper column. Well, that's a pretty simple thing to do, meaningful, simple. But once I physically was able to look up and read some of that, because it was a recent past life in the 1800s, I knew before I was reading it what it was going to say because I wrote it. And that blew my mind. So that was incredibly helpful to find that. There was also a past life as a Civil War widow. And again, it was the simplest form of writing. She kept a diary, and that diary was found in the attic not too long ago. Dolly Lunt Burge, I'm just holding that book up for anybody that's watching this on the KKNW feed. And to hold that book and to, again, knew what was there as I started reading it because I wrote it. It just was so, so powerful for me. And anyone can write a diary, a journal. It's just such a positive thing to do. So those types of lives just kept coming in. And I'm very excited to be working with a client next Tuesday. And we're going to work on resolving how she can best get her first book completed and published because the process has become overwhelming for her. She's a wonderful writer, a ton of content, and it's clearly a book series, but how do you parse it out? How do you organize it and scope it via themes? So that's just some examples of being able to crust bust, using your term, Dr. Pat, to break on through to the life we're meant to live.
Yeah, I think that, folks may or may not know that, there are layers and layers and layers sometimes that have to be addressed. And, we just think about it in our day-to-day lives and we kind of think, well, I think I got this covered. I think I got this thing beat where I can now go out and exercise a couple of days. And we go out and do it only to find that within a week, we're back to our old, whatever that is, not doing it. What is it that you've discovered, especially in your books that you're sharing about regression healing, all of that? What have you discovered from the people you work with? What have you discovered shows up for them? Because I think sometimes we don't know. And we're surprised.
I'm finding there's common themes that are so simple, so powerful. The impetus for my first book, Regression Healing 1, which we're going to give away an autographed copy of in a moment, is forgiveness. And the client in this book had not forgiven the two individuals who had caused him incredible physical and emotional pain. And without forgiving, he continued to carry that in his body, not to punish him, but simply as a reminder that he needed to release it. So he, of course, then re-met those two individuals, one of whom is now his mother and one of whom is now me. So that became the impetus for the first book. So callers, I invite you to call 1-800-930-2819 now to receive an autographed copy of the book, Regression Healing 1, The Huntsman, the Lord High Mayor, and the World War II Soldier. It's an example of a comprehensive past life regression with a theme of forgiveness. That number again is 1-800-930-2819. The first caller through will get a copy of that book, available on Amazon. The second caller will receive a complimentary 60-minute one-on-one soul wisdom healing session with me, where we will meet your guide, we will build your healing temple, and we will work on things that are very germane and unique and particular for you. So that's my thoughts on that, Dr. Pat. But there's just so many other examples, too, of healing. So we can talk about physical healing or wherever you'd like to lead us next.
Well, I think that, this is part of, part one and part two. A lot of times we say the word healing and we think that, that's the physical part. And of course it is. But there are other forms of healing. There's healing around money. There's healing around relationships. And, there are some doctors that say that those ultimately show up in the body. Honestly, if they work with you, maybe it doesn't have to get to that point. But those are the kinds of things that are really buried subconsciously and even beyond that. What have you discovered about reaching those levels and layers? And how have people's lives literally changed from it?
Oh, that's such a great question. And again, it's as simple and profound as being able to quiet the left brain and the ego and to drop down into that peaceful place where during a session, you can speak as your higher self, as your soul, and speak as your guides. And I record all the sessions as an MP3 audio file because people don't remember much of it. I mean, we're really, as you said, peeling the layers of the onion, very gently, very powerfully to be able to get into that. A couple examples. I had a low vision, a legally blind female client, and she's just endured a lot of eye surgeries. She had a retina surgery on her right eye, and she was unable to see out of that eye because it was completely swollen shut. She was getting all the medical care she needed, but her eye just wasn't opening. So we did a session, and interestingly, her third eye, her etheric eye, opened during the session, and she had an epiphany, and she understood the emotional cause of why she is so low vision and legally blind this lifetime. And I was so thrilled when she shared with me 3 or 4 days later when she was able to see well enough to use the computer again. And she emailed me that her eye had opened within 2 or 3 days after our session, and she was able to see forms where there was no vision there before. She shared that she literally saw bright white light as spiritual healers touched her during her session, and just how much that meant to her. So that was just a beautiful example. Another female client who had endured severe childhood abuse, she was amazing to work with during session because her higher self and guides were so present. I was able to work with them on her behalf in tandem. We worked to heal her heart from the childhood abuse. And I finally asked her guides through her if her heart chakra needed to be replaced, which is an example of how I'm able to combine past life regression, hypnotherapy with my Reiki Master energy healing training. And her guides immediately replied, yes. And we did so with the utmost of care and reverence via psychic surgery. And her guides thanked me after the session and told me that heart healing had been critically needed. So that was just wonderful, wonderful to hear. Just one more example, and then I'll tell you where we are with the book and the session. I had a young male client who's been blind since birth and has some tremendous anxiety. My hat is just off to anyone for choosing such a challenging, such a difficult life, and think of all the skill that has to be used when a major sense like sight or hearing is missing or very impaired. And what we learned during his past life regression was he wasn't willing to see due to a decision he'd made in a past life that was just haunting him. And as we got to that lifetime of origin, we were able to heal much of his anxiety, and he's planning another session. He was able to move more into self-love and self-acceptance, which was just so amazing and just so heartening for me too. So an update on the callers. One caller has already received the session and will be doing the one-on-one soul wisdom healing session together, the complimentary session. So that's fantastic. I look forward to working with that individual. The autographed book of Regression Healing 1 is still available, so you're welcome to call in if you would like to receive a copy of that. And that number again, which I need to learn to write on my hand.
I can tell you for it. Right. It's 800-930-2819.
Thank you, Benny.
Yeah.
I'm not a numbers person. So any comments on that, Pat?
Well, I think that part of this is that folks don't have a sense of what past life regression can do to help them with everyday lives. And I think those are, that's an equally important conversation to have. You know, sometimes we enter into these cycles of never having enough time, of trying to figure out how to get through our day, get our stuff done. And we don't think about that being something from our past. And that's really the conversation I think that's so important to have, is we can keep trying to trudge through our day, but some point in time, we're going to have to stop and ask ourselves, one, what am I doing here? And how do I undo this? And isn't that part of the past life regression work as well?
Absolutely. It's just being willing to take that risk and to do something differently. I had a male client in his 50s who had a lot of unresolved grief. And he described to me after the session that it felt like a physical weight lifted from him during the session when he had the epiphany that he was capable of changing old patterns. So I think that's getting to the crux of what you're bringing out, Dr. Pat.
Mm-hmm.
And he felt, he stated that he was emotionally back on track. It was much easier to focus on his goals. And he restarted his travel business, which is his passion. So that was just wonderful to see. And I also had a female client with depression, some pretty significant depression. And over a series of 3 to 4 sessions, she was able to heal not only that, but an extreme lack of confidence that she had that was stemming from childhood issues. So it was from this lifetime. And she moved into what she described as true self-confidence and joy, because we found the point of origin, which was when she took on her father's grief this lifetime, 40 years or so ago, because he did not receive an important promotion that he'd worked toward his entire career. And he thought that promotion would be his and what it would mean to not only him, but to his family. And once she saw that, and she did also see that play out in other lifetimes too, she was able to take her physical therapy business to the next level. And she's now also happily engaged to be married after releasing her pattern of taking on others' grief as her own, because she is an empath and she was just picking up depression from others. And we need to be sovereign in our own beautiful energy. We can still be very caring, very kind people, but don't take on other people's burdens, because then it's not serving you and you can't serve them. So that's been a big lesson for so many people. Dr. Judith Orloff writes about that so beautifully in so many of her books.
Yeah. And I think that, we often don't believe that we enter into our day-to-day and that we're just supposed to suck it up pretty much and go on about our business and get everything done. And we don't think to hit the pause button to ask ourselves, wait a minute, is there another way to go about this? Is there a way for me to figure out what's underneath this? Because obviously running faster has not worked. And I think that's something that you've discovered in a lifelong of dedication and commitment to what you do.
Absolutely. And I think so many of us are taught that to, let's call it soldier on, to be persistent, to be strong. But sometimes it serves us better to take a step back and say, is there a different way? Because pushing on through is just not serving us, because we're not in the flow. We're not with the flow of the universe. And that was something that honestly was very unnatural to me. I was raised to just, push harder, try harder, that sort of energy, which was very well intended and served me great, in many ways for many years. But then it got to the point where I did need to change. So speaking of soldiering on, anxiety, PTSD, panic attacks are so prevalent in our society. And my belief is what I'm being shown with client after client is even if you haven't served in the military in this lifetime, so many of us have been warriors. We have all been warriors at some point in our lifetime. There's a particularly high correlation with healers who have anxiety, PTSD, panic attacks that can be coming from that juxtaposition of having been a warrior too. Because being a healer is being a warrior for the light in many ways. So I had a male client in his 40s. He served in the military in this lifetime, and he was experiencing PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. We healed much of it during his session, and he told me a few weeks afterwards that allowed him much more restful sleep, and that in turn was allowing his creativity to flow more easily, which was especially important to him because he's a musician. And he was able to work more easily and more often, which improved his finances. So you can just kind of see how you get out of that vicious cycle and instead get up into that virtuous circle. And his testimonial was just so kind, and I so appreciated it. What he wrote to me was, wow, just wow. This healing was incredible. You have a gift. It's important you share this work with as many people as possible. And that's why I'm grateful to you, Dr. Pat, for the Transformation Talk Radio platform, because it's just that amazing way of being able to do that. So, Benny, did we have another caller that received the book?
Yes, all of our winners have been claimed for, and all of our gifts are out the door.
Fantastic. Well,
there we go.
There we go.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, where would you like to go at this point, Dr. Pat? Because I could talk forever, but that's not what the clock on the wall says.
Well, no, I think you've answered all of my questions, because I think it's important for people to understand that the work that you do can take on the heftiest of loads when it comes to getting at what the stuckness is all about, but it doesn't have to be like that. And, it's the way Dr. Darvish put it to me a long, long time ago. And that is, look, sometimes it takes a lifetime, if not multiple lifetimes, for us to realize that there's something getting in our way. And I think it's helpful today in the show, as you described, to let folks know that there is a process in the work that you do that just clears the pathway. And that's the important part of the message. We don't have to live in struggle.
Absolutely. Well, I'd like to express my gratitude to you, Dr. Pat, for your keen insights and extend a warm thank you to Chris Steinis for all that she's created with the WOW conference scheduled for February 17th and 18th at the North Seattle Community College. Go to womenofwisdom.org for more information and to register. Thank you, Benny, for producing, and thank you most of all to our listeners. Visit my website at wendyrosewilliams.com to request your own complimentary 15 to 20-minute phone consult, and find me on Facebook to check out the latest workshops, the free and full moon meditations that I facilitate right from the comfort of your own home as a Facebook event, and book offerings. I'm close to completing my second book, which is a historical fiction prequel to The Flow, Plymouth Plantation. It's set in colonial America in 1623 and will be available once again via Amazon. So please contact me via my website or call 425-502-0362 to learn more about potentially sponsoring or advertising with Soul Wisdom Radio. You'd have the opportunity to be on air with me and enjoy the tremendous reach of Dr. Pat's TransformationTalkRadio.com. This is Wendy Rose Williams, and you've been listening to Soul Wisdom Radio, Living Your Joyful Life.
You've been listening to Soul Wisdom Radio with Wendy Rose Williams. Tune in each month on Transformation Talk Radio to raise your vibration and live a joyful life. Wendy reviews crucial energy basics in fresh new ways from her perspective as a past life regressionist, Reiki master energy healer, and spiritual teacher, including how to ground, clear, and balance your energy to be sovereign. Tune into your soul's infinite wisdom, raise your vibration, and discover your greatest joy on Soul Wisdom Radio. Visit wendyrosewilliams.com to download this podcast, to learn more about having a healing session with Wendy, or to order one of her publications.
The preceding audio was via a Skype call.